Welcome back. In this video, we are going to wrap up Unit 6. This is the Unit 6 review on measurement. This is page 48 in your workbook. And I have some scrap paper ready to go just in case, so you might want to do the same. If you don't have room to work your problems, you can always use your scrap paper. So remember, this is a review of everything we've covered in Unit 6. So if you've been practicing your flashcards, that's going to help you. You have those memory pieces to look back on, and we'll do these together. So that should help us to get through each skill that we've learned. All right, number 1. Stefan is 6 feet 7 inches tall. Antonio is 71 inches tall. How many inches taller is Stefan than Antonio? Use 1 foot equals 12 inches. Well, a couple of things I want you to notice keyword-wise. I have an word, that is subtraction, as well as the word than. That will be subtraction usually. Taller than, so I need to subtract on this one. Antonio's good to go. We already know that Antonio is 71 inches tall. But Stefan, we need to do a little work on Stefan's number. So Stefan is 6 feet. He's tall. 6 feet 7 inches tall. So we need to know how many inches are in those feet. Now I know that 1 foot, they tell me right there, is 12 inches. So I'm going to say 6 times 12. You can use your calculator, yes, on this one. So 6 times 12 will give me 6 feet. That's 72 inches. So be careful. He's not an even 6 feet tall. He's 6 feet plus 7 inches. So he's actually 79 inches tall. And again, this is Stefan. I need to keep up with the name of the person. That's so important. And then here comes the subtraction. 79 minus Antonio's height, which is 71. He's tall too. That's going to be 8 inches difference. So for number 1, I like C. We are looking for the differences in their heights. Number 2, what is the measure of the angle? Well, I can rule out D automatically because this is not an obtuse angle. I can tell by looking at it that it's less than 90 degrees. Here would be the 90-degree mark. So it's an acute angle. Whatever I choose, it has to be acute. So get your scale started. You're on the lower scale, and you go up to this line, which is less than 80, but more than 70. So I'm going to go with B. It is between 80 and 70. That is 75 degrees. Again, that is an acute angle. Just to practice your vocabulary. That's the only way to learn it. Okay, number 3. A large bag of cat food has a mass of 6.8 kilograms. A small bag of cat food has a mass of 1,400 grams. What is the difference between, so there's the subtraction key, the difference between the masses, and you use 1,000 grams as 1 kilogram. So the large bag is 6.8 kilograms. The small bag is 1,400 grams. So I have to get those in terms of the same unit. I either have to make it all kilograms or all grams. And so how do I know which to use? In this case, I'm going to look at my answers. And you see that they're all in terms of kilograms. So we're going to work on this unit. Let's turn it into kilograms. So let's do a proportion here. This is the way that I prefer to do them. You don't have to do it this way, but it will work for you. We are converting grams to kilograms, and they give me the conversion. 1,000 grams is 1 kilogram. And our small bag has 1,400 grams. So solve the proportion. Got 1 times 1,400 is, of course, 1,400. And then 1,400 divided by 1,000, use your calculator if you need it, is 1.4 kilograms. And you may be thinking, well, that's not one of my choices. And you're right, because we're not finished. Difference between tells me that I have to subtract. So I'm going to take the big bag, the 6.8, minus the 1.4, and now that both of these are in kilograms, I can do this. And that gives me a difference of 5.4, or 5 4/10 kilograms. So for number 3, I like A. There's a lot to do in that problem, but it's a good one. Number 4. Olivia put 2 angles together to form a straight angle. So 2 angles make a straight angle. I'm going to draw that right here. Make a straight angle and ask yourself how many degrees are in that straight angle. That is 180 degrees, half a circle. One angle measures 117 degrees. That's an obtuse angle. So let's put that one in there. That would be this big guy, 117. We want to know the supplement for that. What is the other part of that angle? Now think about it. If the whole thing is 180 and you have 117 already in there, what is that missing part? So with your calculator or in your head, you need to subtract. You are looking for the supplementary angle. So 180 minus 117 is 63. So this is the supplement to 117. And I'm liking answer D on this one. Number 4 is D. Number 5. What is the measure of the unknown angle? Well, I have a straight angle, and then I have a 70 degrees, and I have an 85 degrees, and then I have the unknown. So what we need to do is take the straight angle minus 70 and 85. So we're going to put those together and then subtract that from 180. Parentheses first. Put the 2 together that you know, and then subtract from 180. And it's a tiny little angle. I would not expect it to be. In fact, if you know it's acute, you don't even have to do the math, because look at your choices. You have a straight angle. That's the red line that I drew. You have an obtuse. you have an obtuse. Now look at C. That's the sum of 70 and 85, so be careful there. That one's tempting. But the one we're looking for is a cute little angle. It's just a tiny little thing. And so I like option A for this one. All right, number 6. What is the measure of the angle? And we're shown a protractor. So here's the 0. We're using the lower scale on this one. And we follow that scale all the way up to 145. It is an obtuse angle. So 145 looks awfully good to me. For number 6, I like C. Number 7, remember this is called a line plot. Jenny keeps track of the time in hours she spends washing dishes each day for 10 days. The line plot shows the data. So these are hours. You've got a fourth of an hour, that's 15 minutes, a half an hour, 3/4 of an hour, a whole hour, and then an hour and 15 minutes. The X's represent the days, so there are 10 of those because she counted for 10 days. How many days does Jenny spend less than 1 hour washing dishes? So let's put a line in at 1 hour. Less than 1 hour, so we're looking at anything below an hour. So we are looking at anything down here. So we need to count the X's. Those represent days. So I have 2 plus 3 plus 3. That's a total of 8 days. And I like C on that one. No math to do. We're just reading the line plot. Okay, number 8. An angle has a measure of 96 degrees. What fraction of a circle? Fraction of a circle is that angle? Well, 96 over 360. I like B on this one. Number 8 is B. Number 9. Chandra is making trail mix. She mixes 1 gallon-sized bag of peanuts. Let me do some highlighting on this one. Gallon-sized bag of peanuts. 3 quart-sized bags of raisins. And 5 pints of chocolate chips. Each serving is 1 cup. How many servings of trail mix can Chandra make? And they give you the conversions there. So I'm going to start with the gallon of peanuts. She has 1 gallon of peanuts. She has 3 quarts of raisins. This stuff sounds pretty good. And I can never spell raisins. 3 quarts. And then 5 pints of chocolate chips. And the servings are all in cups. So I'm going to need to convert everything to cups. All right, a gallon, I know that to be 16 cups. 3 quarts. Well, I know that 1 quart is 4 cups. So 3 times 4, that would be 12 cups of raisins. And let me put a divider in here so your eyes don't run together looking at that. Pints, I know that 1 pint is 2 cups. So 5 times 2 would be 10 cups. And then there's a word that I did not highlight that is so incredibly important. Mixes. Mixing is addition. So I'm going to say 16 plus 12 plus 10. And let me show you where I'm getting that. There's the 16 cups of peanuts, the 12 cups of raisins, and the 10 cups of chocolate chips. So she has 16 plus 12 plus 10 cups of trail mix. That is 38 servings. So she mixes all that up. Let me just follow the story. She mixes all that up, shakes it all up, mixes it up, and then divides that up into 1 cup servings. So she can get 38 servings out of that mixture. Number 9 is A. Number 10. For items 10 through 15, use the formula V equals LWH, where V is volume, L is length, W is width, and H is height. Ramey uses 1-inch cubes to build this rectangular prism. What is the volume of the rectangular prism? So let me draw the dimensions in for you. Here's the length. Here's the width. And here's the height. Okay, so let's count these out. Length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 inches. Width is right up here. There's 1, 2, so 2 inches. And then height is 1, 2, 3 inches. And then you're ready to apply your formula. Volume is length times width times height. So volume is 7 times 2 times 3, and I believe that is 42 cubic inches. So I like D for number 10. Number 11. A box is 10 centimeters long, 8 centimeters wide, and 12 centimeters tall. What is the volume of the box? So V equals LWH. V equals 10 times 8 times 12. I believe it's 960, but I'm not going to make us an assumption. 10 times 8 times 12, yes, 960 cubic centimeters. So let's go with C for number 11. Number 12. This is a composed or a composite figure. Tracy gives her daughter gifts in boxes shown below. So we have this box that is stuck on, or at least sitting on, the top of the other box. So let me separate the boxes so we can at least see them as two different units instead of one big box. Okay, so on this one, they tell me the width and the height and the length. Everything's there for me on this one. So let's go ahead and work the red one. The length is 10. The width is 8 and the height is 9. So I believe this is 720, but let's make sure. 10 times 8 times 9 is 720 cubic inches. And then I have this other box on the bottom where we have length is going to be 16. Width is 15. Height is 3. Everything's in inches. That's very important. So 16 times 15 times 3 is also 720 cubic inches. What is the total? So that means add those two together. Volume of the boxes. And something is not right here. What have I done wrong? What is the total volume of the boxes? And see, if you were with me in the classroom, you could tell me what I did wrong. Let's see here. I got 720. It's something with my, I see it. Do you see it? Let me tell you where it is. Maybe you can. It's right here. The problem is with that 16. So let's think about this just a second. There's actually another problem, I believe, but let's deal with this one first. What's the problem with that 16? The 16 is only from here to here. What's missing? This part that I can't see. That 8 inches, that is not seen to me. That is also, let me draw it for you, right here. The 8 and the 16 need to be added together. I thought this was a little bit too easy. So the length was not 16, but 16 plus 8. So the length should be 24. So let me take out my 16 because I didn't add it together. And let's put in the 24 there. Now, what about the 15? Am I good on that one? I am, because the 15 is actually this whole unit right there. So we're okay on that. I think it's just that 24 that I missed. I am sorry, I just misread. And I've been doing that all my life, and I probably will keep doing it. So this should not be 720. This should be 1080. And I'm so sorry if I've confused you. I could just edit this out and start over, but I want you to see that I make mistakes too. That's very important. I've been doing these problems all my life. I love them. I could do this all day. I never get tired of them, but I still make mistakes, and that's okay. We just make mistakes and we keep going. So now when I total my 1080 with the 720, let's see if this gives me an answer that we like any better. I like it. How about B for this one? It's also a pain to cut out things that you may hear me make mistakes a lot that I don't cut out because it really takes a lot of time to do that. So please bear with me. But number 12 is B, as in boy. Number 13. Brandy builds a rectangular prism, that's just a box, out of small boxes. So think about putting sugar cubes together to get a bigger cube or a bigger figure. Each of those smaller boxes has a volume of 1 cubic centimeter. So think of sugar cubes. You've got a cubic centimeter, and here's how she builds it. She does 6 boxes long, 5 boxes wide, and 7 boxes tall. What is the volume of the prism? So volume is length times width times height. Volume is 6 centimeters by 5 centimeters by 7 centimeters. So I think that's 210, but as you know, I need to be sure. So multiply those together, 210. And you may be wondering why I keep saying I think it's 210 or I think it's this. I always have a mental idea of what my answer should be. For example, I know it can't be something like 35 because that isn't reasonable for the numbers I have. So get yourself a mental idea of what your answer should be. And then even if you have to guess the answer, you can usually get pretty close. I know it's 200 something. So if I had to guess the answer, I could have picked that out of those choices. Okay, number 14. Brock's company rents a storage unit with dimensions shown. So the first thing I want to check is that we're dealing with meters all around, or the same unit all around, and we are. That's a good thing. What is the volume? So the volume is the length times the width times the height. The length is 11. The width is 5. So there's 55 times 6. I'm looking, I believe, for 330. But let's make sure. 11 times 5 times 6 is 330 cubic meters. That makes sense. My refrigerator, I think, has a cubic feet. Well, okay, I'm not going to go there. We're meters and feet. Never mind that. Just strike that. Number 14 is D. Number 15. Paul installs a set of concrete steps that lead up to his porch. So this looks like one of them. And I'm going to go ahead and do a little sectioning off. Remember, this is an imaginary line that I'm drawing. So here is one part of the step. You could just as easily have gone the other way. That's fine too. However you see it is fine. And then we have this piece that is part of the step. This is a composite figure. So learning from that last mistake I made over there on that problem with the presents, I'm going to think this through before I just start going crazy, okay? The red one do I know the length of the red? I do. It is right here. There's length. Do I know the width? I do. There's the width. And then the height, I do know. And all of them are feet. So length is 3. Width is 2. And height is 1. 3 times 2 is 6, times 1 is still 6. So this is 6 cubic feet for the red part. Now let's focus on the yellow part. I know the height. That's clear. And I'll highlight that for you. Here's the height. It's 2 feet. So that part we've got. What is this part going to be? Well, if that whole thing is 4 and that 3 is used up already, 4 minus 3 makes this 1. So this is 1 foot. That's the length, if you want to call it that. It doesn't matter because these are all going to be multiplied. Okay, so the other one that I need is the width of this figure. Now that would be this dimension right here, which is 2 feet. So I had to work a little bit to get this one, but we've got it. We've got the volume is length times width times height. The length is 1, the width is 2, and the height is 2. So that is going to be 4 cubic feet. And because this is a composed figure, I need to put those together. So 4 feet plus 6 feet is 10 feet. So for number 15, I like A. On these, you want to be sure that you don't count things twice. So instead of that 4 feet right here, I'm using 1 foot plus 3 feet, but I don't want to count that 4 also. You just count things once when you figure them into this composite. And that's where I get in trouble. I'm tempted to use things twice. Okay, last but not least, the width of Kyle's bedroom, or Kyle's room, is 4 meters. The width of Brian's room is 250 centimeters. How much wider is Kyle's room than Brian's? These are not very big rooms. Okay, so 4 meters, that's Kyle's room. And then Brian's room is 250 centimeters. So we need to convert either to meters or to centimeters. But when I look at my answer choices, it could be either. It could be meters or centimeters. So I'm going to go ahead, just mainly for practice, and convert both of them for you. So let me white this out so that I can use this space to write on. And we will do both of these conversions because it's good practice. You don't have to. You could do either one. But for Kyle's room, I'm going to do a proportion because that is definitely how I choose to do these. And we are converting centimeters and meters. So meter and centimeter. And they tell us there that 1 meter is 100 centimeters. And Kyle's room is 4 meters. So 4 times 100, that's 400. Divided by 1 is still 400. So Kyle's room is 4 meters or 400 centimeters. They're equal, they're just different units. So I'll do the same conversion with Brian's. It's even the same standard, the same ratio, meter and centimeter, 1 and 100. But Brian's room is 250 centimeters. So 250 times 1, that's 250. Divide by 100 is 2.5 meters. Okay, so Brian's, we can talk about it as 2.5 meters or 250 centimeters. So now let's do our subtraction, because remember we had wider than. So if you do it in terms of meters, you have 4 minus 2.5. Use your calculator if you need it. But that's 1.5 meters distance. If you do it in terms of centimeters, you've got 400 minus 250, and that is 150 centimeters. So we just need to figure out which one of these is a choice that we have. And I like C. C matches the meters conversion, or the meters subtraction. Matches that one right there. So number 16 is C. That brings us to the end of Unit 6. I didn't need scrap paper after all. Remember, if you have questions about these problems, contact your instructor. If you need more practice on them, contact your instructor. You are not alone in this journey, even though you are learning online. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you soon for the beginning of Unit 7. So have a great day and keep studying. Bye-bye.